Doing 100 sit-ups a day will get your core strong and stable. No, not really. Today we're going to talk about the depths of the core muscle and core training. My name is Adrian Skepi. Together with me I have Strante, and this is us at Goat Sports. So core for me, Martin, is I'm thinking about the six-pack.
Yep.
And is that what we're going to talk about? We have a show about the six-pack.
Well, not really. I mean, we're going to talk about the core in general, what kind of movements it can create, what kind of movements it can withstand, what type of muscles it are, and yeah, basically like we're going to cover it all around core training.
So why don't you explain a little bit about what the core is, how it functions, and how beneficial it can be for us?
So the core is a unit. It's a group of many muscles that go around our whole body, so around our belly, around our back. You have like the front side, like the six-pack you talked about, rectus abdominis. You can bend forward. You also have the obliques that go diagonally over and across each other. Then you also have muscles on the back side that protect your lower back. So it's a group of many muscles designed to bend, twist, move forward, move backwards, but also stabilize. So yeah, it's a lot of muscles and a group of units that works together.
It's interesting. So technically, it's our engine.
In some way.
In some way.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have a lot of engines. We have the arms, our legs, and so
Yeah.
on. But this one seems like a central figure to that.
Exactly. It's in the center part of our body.
So this is not only like a mechanism for us to create movement. As I understood, it's a mechanism for stabilizing as well.
Exactly.
Can you explain some more about that?
Well, so if you want to lift something heavy or maybe do something on one side, the core helps to keep our body in the center. So let's say you have a heavy dumbbell on one side, you're doing a shoulder press. The weight wants to pull ourselves to one side, but the core helps to stabilize and put ourselves in the midline. So it helps to also protect the lower back, protect the organs. So it's a very central and important part of the body.
So all I'm thinking about now is that, well, a lot of people do like wake up, do 100 sit-ups every morning. And now to my question, you'll get a six-pack, but that doesn't define a strong and healthy core, does it?
I mean, that's true. Our core is designed to do, like we said, a lot of different type of movements and withstand a lot of different type of challenges. So if you want to build a strong core that can withstand that, you have to do some type of twisting, maybe throwing a medicine ball side to side. Maybe you have to do something static, like a plank, and you're holding that for 1 to 2 minutes. You also have to do maybe something more powerful, like a throw or a punch as well. That comes from the core. So if you want a core that's strong, that can do all types of different challenges, train in a large variety of ways.
It's very broad, but if you would like give a recommendation, like how many times a week or how many times should I train the core?
Well, if the core is involved in all type of these movements, the core is basically working every time you're going to the gym. So you can train your core almost every time you go, but you can also vary the different types of movements. So I wouldn't do bending side to side every session. Maybe on one session I would do more twisting, on the other session I would do more bending, and on the last session I would do more maybe static planks, like holding it for 1 to 2 minutes. So you can train your core every session, but you have to vary the different type of movements and loads that you perform.
All right, that was very, very interesting, and it kind of sums it up to what we like to talk about, what we like to preach or teach, is that it's not always as simple as people think, and it's not as complex as some people make it seem. And let me clear that out.
Yeah.
But it's like the simplicity in it is that everyone can train and everyone can move, depending on the level.
Yeah.
And we all know that doing exercise regularly will aid in health benefits, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think what happens later is once you kind of start doing that, you see the next step as way too complex. So you kind of put into routine a limit, and that limit is usually something you put on yourself. And we don't always reach that limit. I mean, that's why we put goals. We try to reach them. Yeah. Sometimes we're there, sometimes we're right beneath. But when we have that limit and we have a goal and we come somewhere close to it, and let's say we get satisfied with that results, that's where we stop. And the complexity in it is we have to help people see that, okay, some limits are way higher up. Because in this span right here, where you're not pushing or you're not actually doing more what you know that you could do, what your body would benefit from, we lose a big gap in whatever it is for us to do. Because that gap there could be the difference in doing that one last repetition, being that extra alert the last hour at work. It could be doing the last cartwheel with your kids instead of saying, so no, playtime is over. Or even just like lifting that last bag from the car all the way into the house without like pulling a muscle.
Yeah. But we're not aware of the benefits, and we're not always as humble as we should be, because sometimes our knowledge limits us. So is that what you're speaking about? That sometimes the knowledge that we have puts a limit on ourselves.
It does, and it has to do with, I think, just like keeping it simple, but understanding that it is bigger than what it seems.
Yeah.
It's not just doing 100 sit-ups, and it's not rocket science either. It's understanding, like you said, that, well, sometimes we need to train it in a certain direction. Sometimes we train it in another direction. Sometimes we shouldn't move at all. We should just hold a static plank or something. And that's important for us to understand, that when we do our workouts, that's what we need to aim for.
I mean, if we look at life, it's not only static. We're doing different type of movements, we're throwing stuff, we're playing out with, as kids, we go around and play and we just move. So basically, core training should try to mimic the movement we do in life, but we try to make it so narrow when we look at one sit-up. It's like, this is core training. It's like, that's not even close to reality.
No, so if there's anything to take with us from today is that there is levels to this, obviously. And it's to see it as a broader perspective and then push yourself in trying different things, because we learn a lot by doing.
Always.
I mean,
always.
that's kind of the way to do it.
Yeah.
And either we do something and it feels good, or we do something and it feels bad, and then we know what that means. And then we try it the next time to change a little bit. If it felt good, continue until it doesn't do that anymore. And if it felt bad, then we really need to change that around. So shortly summarized, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
We need to train our core often.
Yep.
Not too much, not too little. We need to vary the core exercises. And I would say most importantly, do things we think is fun as well, together with things we think is not as fun.
Yeah.
Because that's usually an important piece to it.
Like working our posture, maybe holding an exercise for a long certain period of time. That's not always that fun.
No, it's not. Very nice. All right. Thank you so much, Martin.
Thank you, Adrian,
for being here. And for you at home, I hope you guys have learned a little bit more about the core, some core training. And we're looking forward to see you guys again next time here on our channel. Take care.